Hey everyone, and welcome back to Nat 20 Productions official on Twitch as we present to you episode 38.
Eight.
Yes, 38 of Edge of Legends. Thank you so much for coming in for this. We're going to do an introduction, say hello to all you lovely legends in the chat, and then get right into it with, well, a little bit of a recap so you know what we're getting into. So without further ado, let's do introductions. Let's start, of course, with Mr. Michael Powell. Tell them who you are, who you're playing, and what your pronouns are.
Well, I am Michael Powell, and I play the fabulous Rufa. And yeah, he's a human investigator, and our pronouns are he, him, they, them.
Excellent. Oh, I missed the roof of flare. Shucks. Next up, we have Ian. Tell us who you are, who you're playing, and what your pronouns are.
Hello, all. My name is Ian. I play Woodward, the gnome druid, and our collective pronouns are he, him.
Awesome possum. All right. Next up, we have Sidney. Sidney, tell us who you are, who you're playing, and what your pronouns are. What both of your pronouns are.
Well, hello there. My name is Sidney, and I play Ilona, the half elf cloistered cleric, and both of our pronouns are she, her. Is that my thing? Is that what we do now?
Well, that's how your character prays, right?
It's true, she does. She
Oh,
does.
I thought you were doing like a ding, like this is
I mean-
me.
She was doing the ding.
Both is fine.
Yeah.
Both is good.
I was trying to curveball it away from the ding, but you cannot escape the ding. Speaking of which, Kylie, tell us who you are, who you're playing, and what your pronouns are.
Hello, I'm Kylie, or I go by Kai. It really doesn't matter at this point. I love you guys. This is great. I play Shionovis, the Elven Ranger, and we both go by she, her.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Last but not least, Sam, tell us who you are, who you're playing, what your pronouns are.
Hello, I am Sam. I play Ichipokton Papakui, your friendly dwarf barbarian, and our pronouns are she, her.
All right, and my name is PJ. I am the GM of Edge of Legend. My pronouns are he, him, and I'll be playing every character in between. And these are the legends today. And we'll give you a quick recap of last episode. They finally got to the bottom level of this crazy mad scientist boat, where they were met with a spinning buzzsaw blade that only affected creatures of a medium size or higher. Sorry. I just want to make sure. Did I get everyone's introductions? I've good. Okay, cool. For a minute, I thought I missed one. But yeah. So it only affected people medium size or taller, which was quite a boon to Cahorba Bubble Boil and, of course, everyone's favorite gnome druid, Woodward. The heroes were able to eventually overcome the trap and eventually overcome the puzzle. The very first puzzle they got to play in Edge of Legend. And then they went into a really hellacious boss fight against Manglemaw, and they revealed Leontari, the new and improved Leontari, who upon seeing the people noticed the person who tried to reprogram him back in like episode 6, and proceeded to open up a can of whoop ass. Thankfully, the heroes overwhelmed Leontari and split him in half, only as he was slowly melting to have one last message from General Korokos himself, that he sees them and that he is coming. And Manglemaw, who's been in the fight the whole time, mentioned that I've never seen anyone actually made the old general angry. You've made him very angry. And now, as the boss fight continues, the final conclusion to this fight, the heroes are a little beaten and bruised from Leontari's insult, and Manglemaw has taken 2 concoctions, crashed them above his exposed brain, and is now mutated further. And we will start right off with the same initiative as last week. So we're going to be playing Manglemaw's theme for the boss fight. Joe, if you can, play Battle Brain, because it's about to get weird. When Megamaw takes the 2 potions in his hand, slams them above his head, the green chemicals start to mix into his brain. His body starts to convulse. Shake. His right arm begins to grow from the shoulder down to the wrist, becomes this amazing arm. His back hunches further as his jaw keeps moving until the bones protrude from his lower lip, and you see his massive, spiny mouth. He has this growth that seems to overtake him. He is now considered a large-sized creature. And you can see his jacket no longer fits. It's ripped off in his transformation. You see his body covered in bandoliers of potions, bombs, and mutagens. And Manglemaw is looking at you all. His horrible, shrill voice still echoing out of his misshapen, large body. Yes, I dare say this should be enlightening. Ichi was the action that killed Leontari last week. That means the initiative will now start with Sidney at the top of the next round. Sidney,
Mm-hmm. Yep.
what are you going
Okay.
to do?
Well, question for spacing. So Leontari was down and Manglemaw was sort of up a little bit, right? On the caltrops.
He ran through the caltrops to try and blow up Woodward. So he is probably about 5 feet away from Woodward. About 10, 15 feet away from you all.
Okay. The reason I want to know the spacing of it is because I would like to use heal in its full ability. So I want to use all 3 of my actions to create a 30-foot emanation so I can get everybody, but I don't want to hit Manglemaw.
That is a very, very good point. Well, you can definitely move yourself. Oh no, you can't. You can't move and use all 3 actions. Well, let's see. I will. You know what? I will give it to you. You can use it this time without any fear or concern of getting Manglemaw in the burst or emanation, I should say.
Wow, gee, I sure do appreciate that. Starting off this session generous. Okay, I'm going to use all 3 of my actions to use heal and heal everybody in a 30-foot radius. All right, y'all, let me... Okay, sweet. Sweet, all right. Everyone is healed 8 points of health. Y'all get 8 back. So you see Alona just rub her hands together and do the pulse down on the earth. And out in a 30-foot radius goes a gigantic purple and gold passion flower. And light shoots up from the floor where you are, making y'all look epic as hell.
Nice. So there's that beautiful flowers, and then the golden light just comes up from the area. Morel is still in the fight. He recovers. You said 8
8.
HP. Okay, Morel is also going to be healed 8. But yeah, he's doing pretty good. All right, Morel is going to look at Manglemaw. He slowly walks forward, and he says, I have half a mind to drag your sorry ass in front of your own soldiers, your own men, and see what they do to you. But I feel like if I give them the opportunity, it'll be a mistake I pay for later. So stand, monster, and know that you are forgiven. After you're beaten. He makes an intimidation check against Manglemaw. And with a die phase of 8, Manglemaw kind of looks at him and he says, forgiveness is not a scientific fact, but fatalities are.
Oh, he's right!
Okay, dope. Fair enough. Good one. Good one. Good one.
Respect.
Okay.
Yeah, to which Morel's like, yep, solid.
Morel just
solid
nods.
point.
Right.
And he is going to raise his shield, and he will create the front line. Anyone can run to him, Ichi, and take the front line from him if they so desire. He's going to spend all 3 actions basically creating a safe haven around him. That being said, it is now Shionibus's turn.
Cool. Cool. Okay. I'm still question, PJ.
Mhm.
Did Manglemaw see where I went, or was it only Leontari when I went and hid?
Your main focus is on Leontari. So I can't answer that. If you wish to make a perception check or a stealth check, we can confirm either one of those two numbers against Manglemaw.
I will do a still.
Okay.
Sidney, this purple dice sucks.
You said
blaming you.
remembered it
I'm
was
blaming
red.
you.
You could have changed it.
I was gonna be like, Sidney, give Sidney this chance. Ruined it.
I'm pretty sure Sidney was saying red in the green room, but I don't
That's
know.
pretty shaky.
That's a 14.
14 stealth check against Manglema's perception DC. Why can I not find your stat block, you psycho little goblin?
Oh.
He's not small anymore.
Yeah, that's a good point. You psycho big goblin.
Big goblin.
14
Lord.
you said?
14.
14. Yeah, he see you.
Cool.
As you start to hide, remember those goggles that are kind of starting to crust
Oh,
in
no.
with the scabs and the lights going back and forth. You see one is looking at the party, and then one is just like trained on your position. And as you move, the light kind of follows your movement, like an eerie painting where the eyes always follow you, but it's only
Oh.
one eye.
Even worse than having both of them. Okay, I want to do something cool, but I don't know if it'll work because dice hate me. I want to Marcus Prey, obviously, and then aim at that eye.
All right, Marcus Prey. I'm gonna give you a called shot of minus. I'll be generous, say -1.
Cool.
You definitely have a chance. That's
Yo.
smoking.
That's a 21 to hit.
Yeah. Wait.
Wait, no.
Don't tell me his DC went up.
21.
Well-
That's. Hold on. Nah.
By rules of normal Paizo, his AC should go
23.
down.
Sorry.
23.
Yeah.
Oh, sweet.
I did math wrong.
That hits.
Nice. Right,
Wait.
where's all my dice?
So in Pathfinder, when you become a large creature, your AC goes down?
It's a pretty standard because your dexterity drops.
Yeah. Also, you're
Kind of
a
like
big-
Godzilla's not doing any mad hops anytime soon.
Yeah, he's got like a bad ground game. But the thing is, because you're a bigger target, you're easier to hit.
Mm.
At least that's how
What
I.
if he was? What if Godzilla was
14
doing mad
damage.
hops?
What if Godzilla was one of us?
We'd have no chance.
No. Let's see here. 14 damage. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Mecha Godzilla had mad hops.
So, you pull the arrow, you let it go. You see that one eye just looking, and suddenly you see the whole like a little slit of light grows, almost as if the eye is dilating in terror, as the light hits it, and you can see glass shattering out of his eye, and you can see the scabs around it start to like kind of break, like bad spirit gum cracking and breaking off the skin, just as this broken goggle hangs from his face, and he just goes. Good show, dear boy. Go. Is that all three of your actions, or do you have one more?
That's all. If that stealth check. No, that's all three of them. Never mind.
All right. Next up is Ian. What are you gonna do?
Okay. At this point, he was standing next to me, so the rest of the party is kind of. I'm not behind him by any chance, am I?
No.
I'm just standing kind of next to him. Okay. I think I'm gonna do what I do best. Woodward gives with a shout. Come on, Mush, sick him! And Mush hopefully runs to the other side of him. And then I am going to try to hit him. I have... Well, you know what? I'll sling a spell to start with. I will do Let's do produce flame. So to hit nat 20 right off the bat. I love it.
All right, first 20 of the episode.
Let's see, and that means it is 2d4 and 6, 10. Wow. Okay, that is 20 damage because it was a critical success. And he now takes plus 2d4 persistent fire damage
Damn.
because of
Alright.
produce flame.
Go ahead and roll that 2d4 just so I can have it.
Yep.
Or is it just, it's, okay, roll it now. I'll
Well,
have it recurring later.
Okay, great. The damage reoccurring is 5.
All right, good to know. All right. So produce flame. 2 actions to cast that spell.
It is 2 actions. My first action was to command Mush to
Okay.
take up a flanking maneuver against him. Mush
All right.
is wherever you put him in the initiative.
He goes on your turn, so I'll just have him kind of hiding
Great.
around him. Just to make it easier for everyone. Michael, you're up next.
All right. Well, first off, free action, devise a stratagem which activates recall knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
So that's recall knowledge is perception, right? Or what? I forgot.
Recall knowledge. I think it's let's go with perception for now.
25.
Okay. Very quickly, give me a fortitude save.
Okay. $25 again.
Okay. You're actually able to get rid of the orc toe. It does not get worse. You'll have to, of course, get like a nice sleep to get the whole thing out of your system, but you will not have any new conditions of the disease. That being said, your recall knowledge is effective. You start breaking it down again in your kind of mind palace, and you're having the moment of like, I see increased intelligence, maneuverability, and size. However, he's losing speed because of the size. He's got a plan. He's hiding something. These new exposed liquids are going to be useful. Everyone gets the bonus. In this case, it's a +1.
Yes. Rufa points out whatever weakness he finds. So everybody gets a +1 until my next turn.
And much like, I guess you could say your brain goes much like a great tree. The bigger the tree, the stronger the roots. But when you compromise those roots, that tree will fall all the worse.
So now this the devised stratagem roll, which I believe I'm still close. I'm right now. I'm close enough to Megaw, right, for a trip attack.
At this point, how close are you to Woodward?
I don't remember.
You were within healing range last time.
Yeah.
So, and I and Mengelma have moved closer to the group since then. So you're probably 10 to 15 feet away.
Okay, and I have reach. So.
Yeah.
Yes.
Would I
You
be
can build it.
within trip range?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Also, just so you know, because you are devising a stratagem, you would notice that the badger, Mush, is digging holes around the enemy that we have in front of him. He's using his support action, which means as long as I damaged him in my turn, he cannot make a step action. Unless he can
Gotcha.
step through difficult terrain.
Nice. That's so smart.
All right. Rufa is going to now use his 3 actions because his devised stratagem was pretty low. So I don't think it's gonna hit, mainly for the fact that it's 15. I don't think that's a trip.
That will miss, unfortunately.
Yeah, so he's not going to use his action to attack. So still has 3 actions. So 1 action, closest he can to Alona. Next action, actually. Wait, is he now within How close is he to Alona now after using an entire action to move as close as he can?
Entire action or entire movement?
One entire action.
One entire movement action. You have about 25 feet of movement, so you're in between 5 and 25. You're right there. Are you talking about how close you are to Alona or how far away you are from Manglemaw?
How close am I to Alona?
If you spend all 25 feet to get there, you will be there, no problem.
All right, so yeah, one action to do that, and then next action will be to, let's see, what do you call it? I'm blanking on it. Stealth.
All right.
Try
make
to
stealth check.
he's gonna try to sneak behind a pillar or something where he's not gonna be noticed.
All right, give me a perception check. If you are near Alona, you'll be stealthing out in the open, but hey, people have blind spots. So give me that stealth check.
Okay.
Rufa just hides behind me. He just beep.
21.
21. As you start to run behind Alona, it's like ball in a cup, it's all these moving pieces, and eventually you kind of get the flim flam, and I think the correct word is the Kansas City shuffle, and then it's just this blink, and you're out of Manglemaw's vision. Of course, it doesn't help that it only has one eye, since the other one just got bullseyed by Shionibus. You are considered hidden to Manglemaw. That being said, that is the end of your turn.
Actually, I have one action left. And
You have one action left? Okay.
Yeah, because Device Stratagem was a free action.
Right, my bad. Go right ahead.
Yeah. My last action is going to be. Let's see, what can I actually do? Has enough time to pass where I could actually use an action to kind of use a medicine check on myself?
When was the last time you used a medicine check on yourself?
I believe right before the doors opened.
Nope.
No? Okay. I am going to then just... Can I hold an action?
You have to tell me what the action you want to do is and what the trigger is when you want to do it.
He's basically going to stealth and just be on the defense, and if he notices Megaw notice him again, he's going to try to dive somewhere and stealth again.
Got it. Okay. So you're prepared to dive in stealth. Good.
Yeah.
Good. Now, with that being said, Mangamal grabs the arrow. He slaps the back of his head, and you see the arrow just come out of the goggle, and it's a bunch of green, snot-like liquid, and a bunch of sparks of electricity fire out of the hole in his face as he pulls the arrow out, and he goes. And one of the bandoliers on his chest, he just hits it with his hand and it breaks, immediately pops, and the fluid just starts spreading through his body. You see his hands start to glow and shake and vibrate, and like potential energy is growing astronomically. And then he grabs another vial and throws it at Ilona.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, so I need to know, Ilona, what is your AC?
14.
14, okay.
I'm a squishy cleric. I'm small.
Nice, this one.
Effie Burton says catch it and throw it back. Can I do that?
I don't know, are you a monk?
Yeah, I was about to say, I was like, if you were a monk, that would be awesome.
That's what she'll multi-class in. There we go.
Yeah.
That would be
Wow.
cool.
You already
That would
got
be
the
so cool.
fist straps?
Mm-hmm.
Yo, I support this.
Yeah, just use all your extra actions and movement and stuff to get around enemies so you can heal people.
Just jump over things to be boop. 5 health.
The look on PJ's face is so worrisome. When he calculates math.
Adding so many numbers.
Plot twist, he's really not rolling anything. He's just making all these faces to worry us.
No, that would not surprise me. But also, he looks way too concerned. For
That's
me.
one of the reasons I love like the GM screens is I'll just roll dice just to roll dice. people making people like, oh, I have an idea.
Diddle.
Okay, who's within 30 feet of Alona?
Well, now Rufa.
I
Well,
was
technically
where...
we all are.
Oh, that's right. 'Cause I killed
Oh.
all of you.
Everyone
Everyone is within 30 feet.
takes 27 fire damage and a persistent 6 fire damage.
Question: does my held action activate at this?
He's nowhere close. You didn't specify if a bomb was thrown at you. You just said
Okay.
like if something he got close, something happened. It's
Fair
a little
enough.
which is a little too broad. So basically, Mengelmaw pops this thing, and his whole body starts to vibrate. He grabs this other thing, starts mixing in chemicals, and as he's holding this bomb in his hands, you can see his whole arm start to like put potential energy into the bomb, and he throws it. The whole thing explodes in this gigantic conflagration. The whole room erupts. As this happens and the fire goes, you hear
Who took the person who took her belt? I don't remember.
yes, it was El Azul Cocuy Jr.
We're back. Are we back?
Oh, we're back.
We're back?
Are we back? Where are we?
Made it.
What am I doing here?
What?
Huh?
Where am I?
What?
Who are you people?
What?
What?
We're
Is this?
back.
What? I'm a
Are we?
professional. What? Okay, so, while we're waiting for the music to get back in, and while we're waiting for all that great stuff, so 1 second, be right back.
Is
Guys,
it?
does anyone know the paths of the monk?
Oh yeah.
It's a
there's some really
path
cool ones.
that monks take.
Thank you. Kat.
Boom.
Yeah,
You're
there's a
welcome.
fork in the road. It's a right or left.
Okay. Alona would go left.
Okay,
Wrong
so
answer.
Ooh, the shadow is a really weird one for Alona.
No, no.
Um,
Wait.
did I miss any AMAs? What's happening? I'm seeing the
yes.
chat.
Mush answered the question from Mahooch. What does Woodwort smell like? And I said home, but Tobias smells like urine. And
Yes, he does. Yes, he does.
And then also the one I didn't get to answer was the person that stole Ichi's belt is El Azul Kukui, and Ichi's very upset about it.
Yes.
She hides it with caffeine intake.
You know, sometimes you gotta do what you can to like just get that out of your system.
I just realized what Michael's got on his hat.
Is that a rest in peace?
Oh, I know.
Because Michael is dead.
Hey, look, you ain't dead.
Yet.
Yep.
He's real.
You got 4 rounds to be officially dead, or
Or I hope.
2. Yeah. So that being said, if you're just tuning in, if you're a part of the raid, thank you so much, the raid, for being patient. You know, we're glad to have you here. For those of you who don't remember, we were in the middle of the boss fight with Mengelmaw. He popped a potion on his body. His hand began to shake like crazy. He grabbed a bomb and threw it, and that bomb somehow seemed to be amplified to the point where I may have had my first TPK. So, without further ado, let's get things started. Could you give me the Battle Brain song one more time, Joe, if that's okay, if that's doable? Now, while we're waiting for that, I heard at least 2 people were downed in the negatives. Morel used his reaction to basically stop Woodward from immediately dying. But he could only choose one person, so looks like Mush is not going to be in such a great state. Of course, the unfortunate truth with our Monsieur Investigator. And there's one action left from Mangle. I'll wait for the music to get started. I might have to turn up the music on the playback to see if I can hear it. Oh, speaking of which...
Can I suggest his action is to lie down and give up?
Yeah, that sounds good. That's a great idea.
Yeah, you
It's
should
actually
think about
only
that.
it's only one action to act in cowardice.
But did anyone notice what's on Michael's hat now?
I
Edge
did.
of rip. Ripperoni.
Edge of Rip. I love it. Are you resting
Does
in
that give me a
peace?
hero point?
Yeah, I'm gonna give it to you.
He needs it.
Yeah. Considering that
something.
Mangle, I love that. By the way, before this happened, the chat was like, "Man, PJ's being very gracious. That means something bad's gonna happen." TPK. Have a great evening, everyone. Okay, so yeah, okay, we'll take that. Now, with his last action, you see him bleeding profusely. He pops one other potion by slapping it with his hand, and his body turns to mist.
How am I
Now.
supposed to hit that?
As the conflagration has now slowly faded, as bodies are strewn about, as some of you have survived, some of you not so much, morale is not looking good at all. Next up, Sam.
Hey.
It is very hard to see Manglemaw. You just see this thick, dense mist covering the entire place, like the foggy harbors of London. It's thick. What do you do?
Ichi is going to... She's going to go for it, and she's just going to do her best to attempt to hit him with the Retribution Axe. Okay, that ain't bad. Let's do that math. That's a 27 to hit.
A 27 to hit.
Heck yeah.
Upon activating the mist form, Manglemaw is considered hidden or concealed, but he cannot take the hide action, which means his AC is benefited by a couple of digits. Combined in total, his armor class would have been 25. The 27 hits Manglemaw. Roll damage.
Oh, I'm gonna hurt you. Hopefully. Alrighty. So, we got our die roll. We got our strength. We got our rage damage. And he's not an orc.
He's not orc, but he has hurt you before that you got to hurt him, so the Retribution Axe effect does come into play, giving you a +2 damage.
Do get that. Alright. So that's 14 points of damage. Ichi just is like, I have a feeling you're right here and you're gonna get it from me.
How much damage was that again?
14 points.
Okay. Tell me the tale of how you kill Manglemaw.
What?
Oh my god.
Ichi sees the explosions happen and she sees her friends going down. She sees Rufa on the ground. She sees poor Mush, fluffy body in a pile. And she sees Manglemaw just attempt to hide. But she goes into her mind and she tries to judge every time that she's fought somebody who, when she's been like blinded with sweat and blood from her ring fights, where she has that instinctual feeling of where they try to move to get out of your way. She just closes her eyes and just feels that he's right there, and with all her strength, just acts straight to the center of gravity.
As you swing, there's that paranoia, like when you swing a stick at a pinata when you're blindfolded, that you're like, oh no, this is too much movement. I've missed, and then suddenly, the cleanest, solid impact of your life breaks through the veil of the mist, and you can just feel, the flesh split and splay across the edge of your axe. The mist begins to dissipate immediately, and you can see the upper half of Manglemaw twisting in midair, starting to shrink back into its original small form. And he hits the ground as his horrible blood starts to just pour out from him. You see, it's not green, it's not red, it's actually electricity, crystals, and jelly. And he is slowly choking on his own inside. And he's and Manglemaw dies today. A horrific blaring of an alarm begins to go off. And his voice, matching Manglemaw's, begins to say, cardiac readings beyond low, fatal, cardiac readings, fatal. Self-destruct sequence is activated. You suddenly see a horrible bubble boil dragging in this gigantic plunger with cables. And she sits down in front of you and she says, no! Good science is best science! As she hits the plunger. Suddenly, the voice horrifically just mutates until it stops. You see little explosions going all across the room. You see all these gigantic glass tubes, just chemicals pour out. You see the head of Lova, dragged here by Leontari, just plump out like some soggy, overripe apple. You see limbs of all the different abominations and mutations that he's been experimenting and harvesting just fall out on the floor. All of his machines go up in fire. All of his research is destroyed. And there's Cobra Bubble Boil laughing as she's just saying, good science, best science. And she is screaming at the body, going, you thinking too much about could, never once thinking should. Wow. As Manglemaw is destroyed and his entire lab goes up in a series of what Bubble Boil says is the big bada booms. Now you're sitting here in his lab. She looks to you and she goes, woo. Now what? We run? We stay? Loot bodies? I don't know how you adventurers do it. I am not looting person type.
Let's take care of our bodies first.
Yes.
And I'll run over. Can I do a medicine check on Rufa or no?
If you're trained in medicine, you can absolutely try.
Am I? I don't know if I am.
You.
No, but I have duct tape, so I'll give it to Ilona?
I'll
Okay.
take the duct tape. Okay.
Yeah.
Ilona takes the duct tape from Ichi and runs immediately after Rufa. Ilona uses her one focus spell, Rebuke Death, and uses it on Mush and Rufa because she can target 1 to 3 creatures, and you both get 3d6 HP back.
Nice. While you're doing that, big shout out to the chat for level 2 hype train. Thank you so much for that hype train. We love you. Thank you so much.
No TPK today yet. Yes.
So Rufa and Mush both get what was that? I just had it. 12 HP back.
Whew.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. Ilona is just, I don't know how close the bodies are, but I imagine that they're pretty close together. And she takes each of her hands. She puts one over Rufa and one over Mush and does the cardiac arrest bump and just goes.
Wait. Let me do this.
And you see passion flower aura just shoot up from their bodies as they spring back to life.
Nice. Really fast. Alona, how are you doing on HP?
Not great.
Yeah, that's what I thought. If you will, Morel is he's asking your permission to provide lay on hands.
Yep.
All right. He goes, oh, all right, good. He throws his shield around his back, puts his hands together in this big clap. You see this purple flower just of energy come out from him, and his hands are glowing golden. He goes, boop, and he touches you on the nose, and you are healed. You're healed 11 HP.
Way better than where I was.
Yeah.
Way better.
So, with that being said, Bubble Boil looks around and she kind of, Ichi, you hear it too, because you're the only two who speak Goblin. There's a countdown to self-destruct, counting in Goblin.
Or we gotta go now.
You have...
I was just in the middle of looting this body. What do you mean we have to go? This takes time.
I'll tell you what, give me a quick perception check to loot the body.
Oh, that's gonna be like a 28.
I'll tell you what, you're gonna get all of it. We'll let you know what that is when you guys get off the boat. If you guys wish to run away from a hallway full of explosions, you have 5 minutes until this entire boat is completely destroyed.
Real quick, is Rufa conscious now, or?
Yep, don't waste time asking questions. That's a real clock.
Okay,
no-
Rufa's gonna really quick. He's going to just grab whatever looks that's not on fire on the table, like notes or whatever, and then GTFO.
Perception check is to look at it and steal it.
He's not even looking at it. He's just grabbing paper and going.
Yep.
Oh, so perception. Okay.
I'm going to,
I'm using hero
if
point.
it's okay, Ian, to
Alright.
pick up Woodward and like throw him on my back because we don't got time for this.
24 GTFO.
24. Got it. You got it all. What's up, Alona?
I'm gonna grab Mush, and I'm going to also run.
Good. Small creature, not a problem. You guys are grabbed. Small creature, not a problem. Sam, how you doing? You ready to run?
I want to quickly ask Bubble Boil, should we warn people on the ship? Is it...
She looks around this completely destroyed place and she goes, I'm guessing they understood the countdown pretty well.
Okay, that was for everyone then. Okay, all right. I feel good
Itchy,
about that.
run,
Let's go.
run,
Let's
move
go.
your legs.
Okay.
Everyone give me acrobatics checks as you are running.
Hero point.
What
So
are my
much better.
pluses or minuses to being carried?
It is all in the person carrying you.
Okay, great. I just want to as long as I'm not the one rolling the acrobatics checks, I'm in better hands.
25.
The DC to beat here is an 18.
Oh, I got an 18.
Boom,
Woohoo!
on the dot, you're good. 25,
24.
you're solid. 24, what you got, Alona?
15.
15? Okay, Morel's only job is this. He's going to roll a d4 and try to help you. Well, he's going to help anyone, really. That's his thing. 14?
Mm-hmm.
You rolled a 4. As you start running out the door, all the explosions start to kick in until the point where the whole room basically goes off in fire. This machine that's right next to you is about to blow. Suddenly, his shield eclipses your vision of it. Fire knocks the metal into your head, and then Morello goes, "No time to be unconscious. Let's go," and then just kind of shoves you forward a little bit. Fire is erupting everywhere. Water is starting to rush in at an alarming rate. This boat is going down. You break through the big vault door. As you're leaving, you see the staircase going up. Give me an acrobatics check to get up that staircase to the second floor ASAP.
Itchy,
Oh.
remember, as explosions happen behind you, do not look back. It is bad precedent.
Why
Two
not?
and a half minutes.
Okay, I
9.
got a 9, 13.
13. Bad on 2 fronts.
27.
27. You're doing great. How you doing there, Rufa?
I believe it's plus perception, right?
No, it's
acrobatics.
acrobatics. It's dexterity.
17.
Faster. 17. You each take 1 fire damage as you're being ruckused back and forth. Keep going. You're almost there. You're on the 2nd floor. You start seeing Crispy Smithers like just grabbing people. You see Jeremy absorbing people into his body, going, "Oh, we're going topside." Give me another acrobatics check.
17.
17. You're good.
23.
Morel saved you. 23. You're fine. What you got, Rufa?
26.
26. You're solid. What you got, Ichi acrobatics?
Also 26.
26. Morel is he's trying to be very polite. He's like, "You almost got it." And he's just kind of like nudging you a bit with a shoulder tackle. You are making it past the 2nd floor. Fire is erupting everywhere. The acid pit starts to completely seal up from all the burning. You're heading to the 1st floor. You have a minute left. If you cannot get off the ship in a minute, you all die. Give me another acrobatics check. No questions asked, because you're going to die if you waste too much time. Ian, what's up?
Can Woodward start tying rope around his body? Hopefully.
Quickly, 50 seconds. Give me an acrobatics check. to do that.
24.
Everyone else, acrobat. 24.
27.
Safe.
Also
27, you're good.
24.
24. What's yours, Alona? 4?
4.
All right.
Got a nat 20, which makes it a 22.
Yes.
Tying rope around me.
19. Morel scoops you up and he says, "I'm sorry, but we have to run." He's basically just carrying you. We're going. Everyone is fine. 30 seconds. Give me one last check. Anything you want. As everyone on the top floor is scrambling to get off. People are terrified. Montague is dead, and there's a whole bunch of goblins with no idea. You now
23
have
athletics.
23 athletics. You're great. What else you got? And we got 15 seconds. Now,
24.
10 seconds. 24. What else?
25
Second
for
to
20,
anything.
25.
25 religion.
25 religion. You're good. Come on. What you got, Sam?
21. What did I do? Athletics.
Boom! You hit the top.
Woodward
As you get to the
yells.
top, the rope is lashed off. You're running, you're diving, you're jumping, you're carrying, you're yelling, you're praying. The minute you get to the little wooden plank, and the bodies of the goblins are screaming as they're running off. The hobgoblins screaming as they're running off. As you're literally jumping off this boat, tied up, it explodes behind you. At the 1 second mark, you get off the ship alive and unharmed. This blow just takes you flying to the mainland. The last check-in with me came in at 0-1. You
As Rufa
survived.
flies through the air in slow motion, he's just shouting, "Itchy! Don't look back!"
Are we in the water or the mainland?
Glad you asked. You were on the mainland.
Okay.
Is that Daltonshire?
Oh God.
No, thankfully,
I'll go back.
you are on the Adelphon continent. However, give me a perception check or a survival check. And while we're doing this, Joe, you can cut Battle Brain.
Are we taking? Okay. I already started the sentence.
What,
we taking-
have
We're not
again?
taking. We're not taking damage from hitting the land or
No, it's-
anything.
Action movie
Okay.
rules, you're fine.
Okay. Okay.
14 for perception.
23 perception.
Okay.
Oh, you
As-
said a survival check will work.
Yes, sir.
I'm going to use assurance, which means I can take a 10. So
Mhm.
that's an 18.
Excellent.
25.
5. Alona.
17.
17. You are beaten. You are burned. You are scalded. You are scared. Morel is holding on to both Ilona and a terrified badger. As you are looking around this massive cadre of goblin scientists, abominations, and mutants, you see 3 things. Looking way off to your left, you see this little plaque just floating in the wind, just moving with the breeze, squeaking on rusty rings, with a big, wonderful, delightful sign that says, "Welcome all to Daltonshire." You also see an entire tribe of orcs armed with spears looking at you funny. They're kind of looking at you perplexed. Not offensive. No spears raised in a defensive stance. They're all looking at you perplexed. And behind them, you see an oven filled with buns.
What?
The orcs look to you in confusion, and in their worst common, they say, "You, um, hungry food? You seem to have worst day."
Lona takes Mush and immediately takes him up to the buns in order to revive him some more.
He also has a +2 charisma checks with the Bun Loving tribe because of passing them on the ship as Mushbeard. So I have that written down on this character sheet. So I'm sure somebody else has higher diplomacy, but he's definitely at the front ranks of our diplomacy right now.
So first of all, massive love and thank you for the great support and the hype train. Thank you so much.
And the raid.
And the raid. Thank you so much.
Giant raid.
And I'm getting yelled at by Pengu Chan. I'm getting some spicy language from a certain penguin. So Mushbeard does this little nose paw in the air. He's basically the most adorable badger we've ever seen. One of the orcs stop, and there's this, and they all get upright, military style, and they spread out. And this female orc comes forward. She's just heavy with muscle and this large belly, covered in scars and burn scars. And she introduces herself as Kaza, and she says, "I am Chief Kaza. We heard the noise, and we see Bushbeard with you. Would you like some buns? We've been working on some buns since this amazing sea shanty was done. And we think you might like it. Sea salt, but like it's mixed with the chocolate, and it goes very well with the natural fruit of this continent. We'd love to host you. Um, that wasn't your boat, was it?" And they point to the giant fireball slowly sinking into the ocean behind you.
It was Shionabus's, but we'd love some buns.
We love some.
In Orcish, she's gonna say he's a dirty liar.
Ichi will also say in Orcish, "Hi, you're very right. We did just have a really bad day. You're beautiful, every single one of you. Can I please have a bun?"
Kazana looks at you and she goes, "Of course could have bun. Of course. That's why make buns. Hold on." And in Orcish, she shouts, "Feast night. Stop the hunters. We're partying."
Ichi knows what partying means.
All right. So they're going to basically all these orcs to start getting excited, and they're saying like kalamtos, 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 and it's basically orcish for like, "We're gonna get drunk, we're gonna party, we're gonna fist fight, but it's gonna be in fun." Like they are amped to hang out with you guys. As they take you deeper into the forest where their nomadic camp is, you see like 15 if you will, the equivalent of like orcish caravans. You're seeing animals' hides stretched across wooden spokes and pikes. You're seeing crude wooden vessels, which could easily double for like a boat. You see wheels that are very easily taken off and put on. I mean, this thing is made for anything, all-terrain vehicles essentially, and they have created their own tent, which Woodward will recognize. This is not only an environmentally safe camp, but one that they can basically safely put out a fire and move at a moment's notice.
You mean in
Yeah.
case Daltonshire comes and like invades the party?
Uh,
It's to
those who
protect
have
the
read
bun secrets.
Mm. Those who have read the notes of Gebzevel, and basically just anyone that remembers or culture in general, know that they are nomads and they do not stay anywhere for any long period of time. No one knows anything about them, but everyone knows they're never in one place for too long, and they've decided to stay here because it's party time.
Sweet. So can we all consider this a long rest and heal back to complete health? Because I don't think we've taken a long rest in ever. I don't
Yeah,
know.
it's been a long time, Sabbath. It's been a long time. You are now effectively, until you decide to change your opinion, you are now in a campfire moment with each other, all the goblins that survived the explosion of Mengelmaw's boat, and you can't help but see an arrow fly by you, hit a tree, and
Is
you
that you,
feel
Shabombus?
And that wasn't me. No.
you,
She like
you,
quickly like counts all her arrows. Nope, that wasn't
How?
me.
How did they?
you suddenly hear a voice. I say, are you okay down there? Sorry, I saw movement, and I pulled the trigger. Are you all right?
Hi, Tobias. We're fine. How did you find us?
Who's Tobias? Who is that?
Who are you? Who
I,
is that? Who
oh,
is
hold
Woodward
on one.
starts smelling the air.
Rufa has a really uneasy look about him right now.
Shionibus is gonna pull her own arrows.
The good thing, Rupa, I'll let you know, you have been pulled far away from Daltonshire at this point.
Okay, sweet.
Um, However, the voice continues. Give me a second, love. We should get close. Yes, I know, but did you hear an animal scream? Then we should get close. Suddenly, breaking through the foliage as the orcs are setting up their feast for the night and their party for the evening, you see two women wearing hunting armor. One's got a crossbow, one's got a bandole full of daggers. And they get close and they say, "Hello, you, darling. What did that letter say?" And the other one goes, "Oh, you mean the one from? Oh, bloody hell! Don't they know that we're on holiday?" Yes, love. I'm pretty sure they do, but they still sent a raven. What did it say? They said something about the tip of the spear might be a little unorthodox. Yes. Are you the tip of the spear?
We are the tip of this spear.
Excellent. Oh my goodness. My apologies. My apologies. My name is Samantha Habenshire. My draw strength has been terrible since the top surgery. I apologize. But uh I hmm, I am the Knight Senatari of Asha. This is my wife. She is the same for Gots. We have been on holiday for at least a month. We got a raven somewhere in the night. We thought it was absolutely rubbish. But now we see you here. So it's true then, the missive about breaking holiday and the tip of the spear and this dreadful war?
Um,
Can I call regional lore real quick to call what they are exactly?
Sure,
yeah, I was
absolutely.
actually gonna ask the same, but with warfare lore,
Go right ahead.
because they sound like soldiers.
22.
25.
All right, 22, 25. So let's go with Michael first. They're high-ranking noble officers. You can't quite tell more than that because they're clearly trained, they're clearly well armored, they're clearly sophisticated, they're clearly educated. You could dare say they're probably politicians from their language. Sidney. having kind of heard a little bit about this in Adelphon and seeing different bits and pieces of this, you know that there's a certain member of Adelphon politics. You have the Adelphon Prime, the major city-state of the Adelphon continent. However, Adelphon Prime has a bunch of, if you will, city-states that make the greater Adelphon Empire. Asher, Gods, Methune, so forth and so on. About 8 different city-states that all consider themselves part of Adelphon. And as you recall, the only reason why Adelphon didn't have a standing military when you first went there from Cobbledale is because their entire infrastructure of military and politics were on holiday. You're pretty sure you're standing in front of 2 soldier politicians, military politicians of Adelphon, one representing Asher, one representing Goats. And they are here, and they're starting to realize, oh dear, something terrible is about to happen.
Yeah, it is. Do you see that gigantic flaming boat, or has it sunk into the ocean already?
It's on the way. You see them kind of like, love, could you please hold my crossbow? I appreciate you. And they walk off and they step out and they go, and they come back. Love, there's an entire boat on fire and it's sinking. Why is it sinking? I would imagine it's because of them. So it's bad then. So it's bad then. I'm terribly sorry. As Knight Senatari, as political representatives of our own city-states for the Greater Senate of Adelphon, we wish to extend an apology and ask for some questions and clarifications. First of all, we heard there was a war against orcs. Or an invading orc army? Are these orcs... They seem to be rather hospitable. Is this a problem?
They're
Okay.
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna start and say yes. There's a section of orcs that are trying to take over the world. Not these orcs because they're nomads and they travel quite frequently. They're not involved with the war at all. But there's a section of orcs that has decided to take an uprising against the entirety of the world and try and take it over in the name of madness, basically.
Somewhere in that beautiful explanation, Woodward's in the back with a mouthful of bun. Don't you dare! Don't you dare! Waiting for them to respond as she actually explains what's going on. Alona.
You see the two Nice and Atari start to talk to each other, and they start to speaking in this kind of rich Adelphon, like deep Adelphon accent, which basically sounds, because I can't repeat it, like very heavy Latin. And as they're speaking to each other, they go, "Wait a minute, I'm so sorry. This tribe is not. Last I checked, there was we got this message saying that there was at least 50,000 orcs of different tribes. Do we have any idea which tribes were attacking Adelphon Prime?"
Yes, we do. We have the Black Spear tribe, we have the Blue Rock tribe, we have the Red Rock tribe, and they're currently working on recruiting more. However, they have not been successful in those matters. Red Rock tribe orcs have gigantic griffins that they can do aerial attacks with. Blue Rock tribe is seafaring orcs, and then Black Spear tribe are the ones that are, spearheading this whole operation. Question for you: you said that you were head of Asher, right?
Yes, it was, yes.
Have you been to your district recently?
I mean, I've been on holiday for about a month, so not since the month, no.
You should check on Fort Raggedy.
Immediately their hand drops into their face, just this gesture. What did they do this time?
Well, besides being horrible to some of our own party members for being Acadian, they were also under siege by this very army that we're talking about, and basically their entire town was leveled.
Mm. First of all, I'm just gonna take a shot in the dark. Was it the strapping Acadian here with you?
There's no other Acadian with us, yes. It is.
First off, you already took a shot in the dark. I don't recommend it. Second off, can we do this around food?
You're already
Yeah.
Buns.
We went through a thing, and like I'm standing now, and I should be
Yeah.
sitting. I
Of
feel like
course.
we
I
could
just need
all.
I just need
Great.
to sit
Okay.
and a drink.
These
with
orcs are
Woodward.
good. Let's just.
Sure. She he looks to his partner and he says, love, we need to call the troops back immediately. would you like me to go with them, or do you want to go? His partner says, "Love, I'll go. Of course, I'll go. Because I'll go if you want me to." They bicker back and well, they don't bicker. They do the thing that couples do, where they both play the game of like, no, I'll go, no, I'll go, no, I'll go, and then eventually one goes, the one you've been talking to goes, "I'll tell you what, let's put the captain in charge of their retreat back to Adelphon. We'll stay here together. Sounds good. Sounds good. Okay, great." And then they go, Orcs, if you don't mind, we want to apologize to you. We know that you have been in the middle of a nomadic lifestyle, and war is on the horizon. And there's going to be a lot of confusion as to who the one trying to kill you is and who the one who is your friend is. And we want to absolutely throw ourselves at your mercy and ask for a seat at your festival, knowing full well that we don't deserve it, but we hope that we can as friends and as allies and as people who just need to learn more. And Kazal the whole time is going, "Well, crap, this got heavy. I was just making another bunch of pies, but yeah, y'all seem cool to me." And I go, "Thank you. That being said, what the hell? Like what? It's everything. We're having pies. We're having okay. So we're under attack by bloody orcs, but like just 2 or 3 tribes out of the seven tribes, um and it's goblins. There's a lot of goblins here. The goblins involved too.
Okay, Alona is really annoyed at this point because this is like the 50,000th time that she's had to explain what's going on to these politicians that don't seem to care about their own people and are on holiday for an insurmountable amount of time and like completely neglected their own cities, even though that they probably should have had something in place in case something like this happens, because God forbid something like this ever happens. I don't know what they were thinking putting this whole political system in place, but they're gone and there's nobody there to take care of their people. So she's just gonna go ahead and rapid fire explain the entire thing that happened so we can get it out of the way and they can shut up and eat fucking buns.
You get a hero point, Sidney.
Thank you.
They immediately look chastised. And even though, let's be real, they outrank you a lot, but they realize there's a lot of truth to what you say. You can kind of see Morel behind you just kind of like he's totally enjoying your wrath. He's like, "This is awesome." Uh and they get the full explanation, and then they apologize to you, and they say, "On behalf of Fort Raggedy, our city states, our empire, you're right. We deserve a holiday, but this is completely irresponsible of us. And on the morrow, after what I hope is a great time with food and fun and frivolity, we will go back and we will let every other city state know, and we will make a standing army to defend our home empire. And
So
I ask that you could forgive me for my failures."
listen, you're doing a whole lot of apologizing, and I don't really care because all you need to do is take action. That's literally all you need to do. You don't need to keep apologizing. I'm not a priest, I am a priestess, but you don't need to confess to me because I don't take your sins. So it's fine. You don't need my forgiveness. Just go back and take care of your people and just do what you have to do. Now, please have a bun.
They look at each other. "Sweetheart, shall we?" "Sure." And they grab one, they bite it, and they go, "Why don't we have more of these?" "I know, these are amazing. What did but and then the salt. You think it makes it salty, but it makes the chocolate stand out more. How do they do it? I don't bloody know." And they're having this meltdown for the fluffy bunness.
Ichi's going to lead them into like closer to the fire and teach everybody the orcish party chant that you said earlier because she's ready.
Kalamtos, Kalamtos. They
As
all start doing it.
as this is all going on, Rufa, knowing how bureaucracy is, he's just gonna just like check the notes he snagged.
All right. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a quick 5-minute break. When we come back, we're going to go over all the notes, all the loot, all the partying, and then the day after. We'll see you in 5 minutes. We'll come back at 9:30 p.m. sharp, Pacific Standard Time. We hope you liked that amazing, all of it, and we'll see you in 5 minutes. Bye. Hey everyone! Thank you so much for that 5-minute break. And for those of you who don't know, it's also International Beer Day. I'm having a soda. And we welcome you back to Edge of Legend. We're just going back. We're on a 5-minute break. We're going to come back really fast, do some quick logistics, notes, and loot. And then, of course, the campfire moment with the representatives of Acer and Gots, as well as the entire bun-loving tribe in this party to celebrate. So first things first. So Rufa, you look over a bunch of notes that you sold. Just kind of grab. You see a bunch of paperwork written in Goblin and in Orcish. They are definitely letters of communication. You can tell that because certain symbols keep reappearing at the beginning and end. So it's definitely like a letter to from blank. But you're gonna have to recruit your friends who speak Goblin and Orcish to kind of decipher that. But you have three letters of communication.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Oh, I said okay.
Okay. Shunbus, here's what you grabbed from the room. Go all the way back to the beginning for the loot page. Okay. You find 3 Insta Buddy decoy rocks, 3 Goblin funny bombs, 3 Orc toe bombs. You find the formula book of Manglemaw, his personal book of bombs, elixirs, scientific discoveries, etc. You find a rod of magic reflection, as well as a rod of missile magnetism. Let me know when you've got all that down. I know I'm probably going pretty fast.
Mystic what?
Good. Missile magnetism.
That sounds like a bad
Missile.
Missile
That
magnetism.
sounds like an awesome thing. I'm not
It's
even gonna
awesome.
lie.
Okay. 'Cause
Uh,
it sounds like you have this rod and it's a beacon for missiles to come and attack you. That's what it
Or
sounds
sending
Well,
them.
what if you leave it somewhere else?
Bada bing, bada boom. Literally.
Yeah. You also find
Oh, there's more.
the arm of Leontari.
Oh.
She
Aw.
just grabbed that. Like
This is the big bag.
I love that.
And last but not least, you find a massive satchel that is filled with 7,000 gold.
Heck yes.
Whoo-wee.
I
This is
vote-
all I want.
I vote that the arm goes to Ichi so she can smack him with it when we find him again.
Did you
Yes.
say 7,000 gold?
7, comma, 3 zeros, 7,000.
That
I
is,
love that I'm always the one finding money.
and never sharing it.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me? I have shared. I split half, way more than half, because I gave my half of my half to Tobias
He doesn't
after I
count.
split it over to you guys. After I split it with you guys,
The once.
there's only one time that I have gotten money on my own account that I haven't split with you. Twice that I haven't split with you. Now we're even. 2 out of 2. Second time I'll split it with you. Maybe not now because you're giving me attitude, but
Incredible.
7,000. How many party members do you have currently?
Not including NPCs, you have
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
5.
Wait.
Nah. Continue.
Wait,
I'm gonna do
does
math.
mush count as a share of
No.
gold?
You
No.
didn't count yourself.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah, there it is. I did the same thing.
I mean, Mush does do his share of work. I'm just also saying, we pay
I
him
could
in
buy
buns, right?
treats. Yeah, we pay him in buns.
Shannon's goes 1, 2, 3,
7 hours later. All right, so you have 7,000 gold. All the things I mentioned. And if you don't know what those are or want to know what they are, you can make. You don't have to do it now because we're at a campfire scene. But later, you can make certain checks to kind of learn what they are, what they do, how they work, etc., as well as the arm of Leontari. That being said, Rufa has some paperwork that is written in Goblin and Orcish, and you see that the sun is starting to set, and it is party time. Joe, if you still have the campfire sound effect, please play it if you could, if you can. That being said, you're now at a campfire. There is a gentle music being played on and off because they have to take turns making the food and talking with you guys and partying and have a great time. So the music is very kind of here and there, gone and missed, but it's kind of a relaxed vibe. If you will, I hate to say this, imagine the kind of coffee house jazz you heard at Panera. So you're at this party. Everyone's talking and dancing. The two knights sanitari of Asher and Gotts are definitely talking to all the orcs and partying and dancing by themselves. Who do you talk to? We're gonna start with let me make a roll. Woodwards. Who do you first want to hang out with at this party? Who do you want to talk to?
I think due to the last time we hung out, it got ripped apart by circumstances beyond both of ours control. I think Woodward's gonna hang out with Ichi. I feel like if he sees Shionibus, counting cash, Rufa's going over letters, Alona's, if she's praying, he has nothing to do with that. So he's gonna go hang out with Ichi. I think he kind of just sits down, and he obviously has bandages and such, and Mush is kind of near him, and we're okay. We're not great, but we're okay. Waiting to get that long rest. So, Ichi, that I don't think any of us signed up for that.
Yeah, you know, the the point at which I should have turned back was probably the point at which I was frantically rowing a boat over open ocean.
Right,
And then it got
right.
worse. And then
Yeah.
it got worse. And I'm sorry you got so hurt.
Yeah, honestly, I definitely thought after the poisoning, maybe we'd hit some sort of stride of things going in our direction. But
Yeah.
I know we're getting farther from Asmacon. I just wanted to, I guess check in and see how you're handling that with the news and everything.
Yeah. She'll look over at Mush and like pat her lap, see if he wants to like get pets.
Yeah.
She'll just give Mush some pets and think for a second. I sometimes I wonder if I should have ever left at all. And I think the reason I left is I felt so disconnected from everyone. I had a career there. My grandma was really famous doing what I do, and me less so. But I got paid to do things, and I just wanted to see what was out there and see what I could do in the world and get paid. It's true. I did get cut off from the family funds. That is one of the reasons. But I, I didn't expect to get caught up in like a whole war like this.
Right.
And but you know, all of you, I'm really I'm really glad I met all of you. And if this were threatening your homes, I don't know what I'm doing with my life, but like if I can help with that, that's something, right?
No, you're absolutely right, Ichi. Uh, the first thing I gotta say is leaving home to find why you need it is a completely acceptable reason. Uh, it's really easy to live happy and content, at least in those places, but leaving home to then be able to come back, that's. I think there's something to say about where true happiness lies in that. I do think that your reasons for leaving and now helping out everyone else are just as good as everyone else's. I don't think anyone wants to be here. Um, I'm not entirely sure if the orcs really want to be involved, depending on who you talk to. But we are now, and sometimes, well, I don't know anything that'll make us go backwards, so forward's the direction we got, right?
Yeah, you're right. You know, when I go back home, I don't want to just be Ichi that got a brand deal with a bun shop. You know, I want to be Ichi who did something important. But
I
bun shop's cool too.
Yeah, well, don't don't underplay it. I mean, it is. I don't see the rest of us being sponsored or nothing. But uh, on the other hand, I do have to say that it. You may never be more than the Ichi you were when you left home. But I also want you to know that Ichi from Asmacon now saving Adolphon. That's that's a story to the rest of the world. So yeah, in Asmacon you're Ichi from Asmacon, but to the rest of us, hell, just like Rufa and all of us at some point, we're somebody from some other place, yet we're here right now. So who cares what home says? They'll get the message eventually. Right now, though, right now, well, we're an unlikely group from all sorts of places that are helping a place that's done nothing for us. And if that's not the definition of a hero, I don't know what is.
She looks at him and passes him an extra drink that was sitting to the side. How'd you get so wise?
Um, you know, I if I look back at everything that I've done, I wouldn't say I'm any wiser than anyone else. What I have on some of the people in the party and some of the people I run into, not Shionabis, is time. What I do have on Shionabis is time alone. And I think a lot of people discount that.
I'm sure it was that, but it probably was also the hat, right? Like that big stuff.
Yeah, no, that definitely did it. I would say that it's helped. See, when you kind of gotta dress for the job you want, And if you walk in looking real important, people just tell you things anyway, right? So, yeah, I'll go with the hat. The hat's a great option.
I think Mush has proved that point very well.
Yeah, it's I would. He seems to be taking his own adventure alongside mine at this point. I never thought he'd be a successful badger pirate, but you know that's where we're at.
People surprise you. Badgers surprise you.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah,
Anyway, let's I drink to that.
yeah. I think Woodward and Ichi at this point are probably going to do some people watching and then figure out what part of the party they're going to join later.
That is very, very fair. I was actually about to take that moment to shift up over to the next person. Rufa. Rufa, you have a party full of orcs having a great time. They're offering you drinks, they're offering you pastries, they're amazing hosts, and they have stories to share. And you have two knights sanitari from two different parts of Battlefront Prime. And of course, all your friends. Who do you talk to?
Is Bubble Boil still with us?
Yes, she is.
Okay. If possible, Rufa's going to. He sees Itchy and Woodward sharing a moment. He doesn't want to butt in there,
Mm-hmm.
and sees Chonobus counting them coins, doing the funds. So he understands the need for that. So he's going over to Alona and then over to Bubble Boil and then try to get one of the orcs there to help translate and figure out all the notes. And he's going to any words that's like repeating over and over, especially names, he wants to try to remember. He's going to associate, I
Okay.
guess, the character with that name
Sure.
or whatever.
Sure. I'm going to challenge you. Pick one of those things.
Mm.
Just one.
What do you mean? Pick one.
So you want to talk to Bubble Boil, Alona, and you have an orc translate for you. Pick one of those three things.
Is it more in goblin or more in orc?
You've noticed while you can't rate it, it definitely goes back and forth. One's a goblin, one's an orc, one's a goblin.
Okay. He's going to go over to Bobble Boil, I guess.
Sure. You see Bubble Boil is she's sitting in front of three or four, let's say four buns, and she's biting them and she's making notes and she's taking out a vial and she's pouring some chemicals on it, biting it then, nodding, making notes, and she's not really engaging with the party. She's doing science on buns. And you interrupt her, she's like, shh. Now when I'm pouring. Okay. No. How can I help you?
Yes, friend Bubble Boil. If you do not mind, I understand your research here right now is very, very important, but Rufa is in need of some translation. And he kind of brings out the notes, the ones that he could ascertain that's goblin. If you do not mind a little aid here.
She makes you this gesture like uppy, puts like gimme the notes. Yeah,
Here-
she
here
takes
you
the
go,
notes
here
from
you
you. She looks at them, and she looks off in the distance, and she goes, Jeremy, come here. Come here. You see it's like kind of like not snug, sorry, slug sliding out of the forest. She is like a lump of mass. And you see Jeremy going, well, how's it going? I was off in the forest. I found 4 rabbits. I ate them all. How
Very
we?
good, Jeremy.
Oh, good. No, I'm doing great. I had 4 rabbits. They were really good rabbits. And she
That
goes,
is good to hear.
come here. I don't read orc. You read this? You see he grows 4 more eyeballs kind of going up and down his body. And he's like, oh, hold on. Hold on. Yeah, I know this one. I know this one. Okay. Weird. She starts reading the goblin one and she starts translating it. Here, Korokos. Oh, it's Korokos. Yeah. She reads it. It's a letter from Megaw to Korokos, basically saying, Leon, Legion Lejean has received his orders. However, the scouts have shown that he is just standing in the middle of a field. We don't know why. The programming should have worked just fine. To our knowledge, he is still programmed to do his job to destroy Alphon Prime, but he has not moved. Maybe he's waiting your presence. Either way, we are very unsure of this. If you'd like to, we can send more programming off to Lejean to make sure he does his job. We're so sorry. We'll fix it in the next hot fix. Signed, Mengelmaw. And the letter is written. Dear Mengelmaw, leave the idiot standing there in the field. I don't care if he counts the days. He will move when I tell him to move. You did your job well. Keep him there. Signed, General Korokos. Next one from Mengelmaw. Oh, okay, good. Then I should say, I'm sure you're aware of the northeastern movements from Zanakin. Should we do anything about that? If need be, I can have another unit there immediately to kill Zanakin for you. There's no response to this letter, as you are holding it before it was sent.
Bob Boyle, do you think perhaps there is a design flaw in their Legion series that we could perhaps exploit?
I don't have the working notes to understand. No. If I had to guess, I would say too many thoughts, too many voices, not enough focus. It's like. And then she grabs a book and she slams it down and she starts flipping through all the pages and she says, imagine you have an entire book and you're constantly flipping through pages. Many page book having. And you flip through. You know all of it. You're constantly flipping pages. Those are Legion series. They know everything, but they have too many pages flipping. Too many thoughts. Too many words. Yeah. Too many ideas having. They can't focus. Their whole brain on fire. Their face on fire. They are on fire because they have too many pages flipping. They need corals. Oh, that's gross. Yeah.
Do you think, now this is just a theory, but do you think that as we have learned on the ship, there is 1,000 souls now crammed into one of these Legion series? Do you think that's perhaps the fact that there are so many voices now in each of them? Not all of them are agreeing with each other. Is there a way perhaps we could sow dissension in these voices?
No. Listening to Mingama, they are programmed. I would imagine they are Legion because they all answer to programming. But that's not to be 1,000 orcs. Many pages open. Lots of words. They need to have some sort of word-making focus driving. Command. Yes. They don't have command.
Question, do you think perhaps Rufa always find it frustrating when he has a book, but if the book is an old book, it is missing a page. Is there perhaps a way we could rip a page from that book to stirred up the works.
You'd have to have Mengelma's programming science. No, no, no. Even if one is missing out of 1,000, you still have 999 orcs.
What if it's a linchpin command?
Mm. No, because linchpin commands are given. At least that's what this is telling us.
Hmm. So we must now either impersonate Gorgos to as Chonobus has done in the past, uh, to further confuse these Legion series, or there should be a way to throw, how you say, a monkey wrench into the works, because there is no such thing as a perfect system. Every system has a weakness we can exploit.
You can see her like scratching her head anxiously as she's thinking, and she says,
An impurity.
"Hmm. I think you are going. Hmm. I'm thinking probably conflict making.
Yes. Or now, stay with me. There is now 1,000 voices in each of these Legion series. Am I right? Is Rufa right?
In Legion. To our knowledge, Legion, last Legion.
Yes. Is there a way? The more voices, more confusing. Is there a way? Perhaps maybe we could overload it. Just keep adding voices upon voices, and then in a loop, maybe give it a question that it just set it on a loop to at least stall it momentarily.
We shall discuss in the morning.
Hmm.
I want to have more buns.
True.
Requires
Think about this.
buns.
Think about this.
Science requires buns.
True.
Until then, decent thinking. You need bun time.
Hmm.
Make time for bun. And then she like takes her notes, she puts them together into one arm, she gets all the buns and eats them all, and she goes, too much bun. And she runs off and she's like, chicken. And she's just screaming for chicken to see if any orc will feed her a chicken.
I'm essentially Rufa, I guess, is trying to create actual programming in a fantasy world at this point and hacking. Programming and hacking.
I was looking at chat and I saw the mention of 99 problems for an orc game 1, and I saw Kylie was giving a hero point. In my voice, which I will say, how dare you? I'm very upset, and yes, I will agree that Reef Psyche gets a hero point. That's a great.
It was too good to pass up.
It was a good reference. I have to give it to him.
It was good.
Okay, so that being said, excuse me, Alona, who do we should talk to during the campfire moment? Oh, you're muted.
I was saying I probably should have thought of this beforehand.
Yeah, try going first.
Yeah, I know. Ilona is going to talk to Shionibus.
Okay. All right.
Okay. Ilona is going...
1,422. 1,423.
I'll be right back. You guys continue having a conversation.
Ilona takes a piece of paper. She writes down the number that Shionibus was just counting off and slides it to her and says, "There you go." So she doesn't completely mess up her time. Yeah.
What's up?
So We all almost died in there.
Yeah, that was a lot.
It was, and I just wanted to check in and see how you were doing because I know as the sort of strong silent type sometimes it might be easy to overlook the strong people, but I just wanted to see if you were okay.
Yeah, I'm fine. You know, not the first time I've almost been blown up, but you go through a lot in 2000 years.
Have you ever seen someone die like that before? Like one of your friends?
By explosion, you mean?
No, I mean like Rufa.
Oh, um, I mean, I've seen plenty of friends die, but I don't know. This time was different, I guess. Like, I guess I've like, I guess I count you guys as like friends. I guess. Um, so I don't know. It was just weird this time.
It was weird.
Yeah. Maybe it was the goblin arms and legs flying off at us at once.
Oh, that was certainly that was a little traumatizing. I'm
Yeah.
not gonna lie.
Yeah. How are you doing?
Oh,
I feel like this is a lot for you in one day.
well, you know, I think I think before it would have bothered me a lot, but at this point I think I just keep seeing so many things that I'm not used to that after a while they just start becoming a little mundane. Um it's a lot to handle. The world is a lot to handle, more than you can ever really imagine. It just kind of keeps coming and it doesn't stop, which is fine. But I guess I think overall, I just feel like yes, we just took down Mengoma. Yes, we're celebrating. We all miraculously survived again. But there's still more questions. There's still more to find out. It just never seems to end, and I still feel like we're falling behind.
Yeah. I think I don't cut yourself too short. I think you're for not being around the world. I think you're doing pretty well.
Yeah.
But you know, war comes with sacrifices, and you know, you win some, you lose some. You'll get used to it. That's a terrible thing to say. I am so sorry.
Have you really gotten used to it, though?
I've gotten used to outliving everyone. Like I said, you kind of get used to it.
I know that you've traveled with Larry and Voss before this, but you still had entire lifetimes before you met us. Did you ever have someone like us?
Yeah, I had some of my closest friends with me. A few of them went off to war, and I never saw them again. A few stayed behind and continued to boost morale, as my family used to call it. But like I said before, you guys are different. It's not even with Larry and it's like this. It's just, I don't know.
You know, I don't mean to bring my beliefs into this, but it does feel a little bit like fate. Just a little.
Maybe a little, but who really knows, right? It's
That's
kind of
true.
a can't put all your eggs in one basket kind of thing.
I appreciate your point of view of taking things with a grain of salt.
I know I'm not the most optimistic one in the group, but when you've seen as much life as I have, it's kind of hard to always see the bright side.
That's true.
When most of the time it doesn't come out that well.
When we were back in Agrippa upon Aubert, your friends from back home, they said that your city was attacked constantly by demons. And I've heard of demons attacking people before. I've read it in books. This isn't something that's new. Why did you leave?
When you are stuck in walls, as I'm sure you know, I was stuck between these porcelain walls that haunted me, I guess. And I just couldn't take it anymore. So I left in like the dead of night. And as far as I know, no one went looking for me, which kind of stung at first. But, you know, can't choose your family, right?
Yeah, you can. You chose us.
Yeah. Sometimes I worry about that because we do have like a pyromaniac with us. Sorry, Michael.
Well, that's true. We have, let's see, if we were going to boil it down, we have a pyromaniac, investigator, dance lord. We have a hooch-loving gnome with a mysterious organization after him,
Who, by the way, is now friends with a god.
who's now friends with a
This.
god.
Yeah.
We have a luchador barbarian who has some family trauma that they're dealing with and is struggling with their own self-worth and making it in this world, who's super strong and like way amazing. We have 2,000-year-old princess
No,
elf,
don't say it. Just mercenary elf.
mercenary princess elf, who has run away from her people and is saving the world in spite of not wanting to be a part of it at all. And then we have me, who left her temple for reasons and is now also saving the world for reasons.
Your story sounds way cooler than mine. Be like, yeah, I left my tower to save some people. Like no other life experience. Bring it on. And I just escaped a ship that was blowing up. Like that sounds so much cooler than mine.
Well, I wouldn't have left unless I had a push to go.
Can I ask you why? Or is that like secret between like you and like whoever your person is that you were in that was in charge of you? Whatever that word is.
Well, I actually kind of already told Ichi. She just kind of asked, and no one had really ever asked before, and now you're asking, and now I guess I already know that I already know your secret, so I guess I should tell you. It's not really a secret. It's really just I had a vision one day randomly in the temple. I had no plans on leaving. I was just going to stay in the temple and teach the kids like my fathers and mothers and sisters before me. But I was struck with a vision, and Afra spoke to me directly, and she told me that I needed to find someone. I needed to find someone. And I don't know who that someone is. I don't know where they are. I have no idea. But when your god gives you a task, you don't say no. And I didn't want to say no. I just don't know if she chose the right person for the job.
What makes you think that she didn't?
Out of all the more capable people in the world, I mean, look at Morel. He is a gigantic, strong, wonderful person who has so much more life experience and really strong arms and he knows so much already, and there are so many followers of Afra that already know so much and know the world, and I don't know anything.
I think you know far more than what you think you know. Gods work in mysterious ways. Believe me, I know. It might not be about your life experience, even if you haven't had a ton. It might have been that she saw something far brighter in you than she had in anyone in a long time. You gotta take that. Take that leap of faith. It's scary, believe me, I know. I had it when I left. But if something's calling you, you need to answer it. Don't be scared about it. We basically live forever. What do we have to lose? At least I live forever. You almost live forever. What do you have to lose?
I have to live forever. I'll take that. Thank you.
Yeah. Just keep your head up. Save the world for, if we don't all make it, save it for those who don't.
Yeah. Alona takes a piece of paper back and walks away.
Shionis is going to slide her the 114 because she already knows how much it is. She can literally just have a coin be like, ah, yes, 7,000. She already knows. Slides you the 1,400 gold.
Alona doesn't know what to do with money. She's put
You use it to buy stuff. Okay. Yep.
Really fast, since Sam and Kylie were both in other people's campfire scenes. If you do not have any other business with an NPC or a player or anything else you want to address directly, with your permission, then I'd like to skip forward. But if you do have those businesses, please let me know so we don't skip you guys.
Just tell me what that bun tastes like. That's all I need.
Okay. Challenge accepted. You have 3 buns in front of you. Right, middle, left. Which one are you tasting? Which one do you want to the flavor of?
Middle.
Middle. It's a savory bun. Every time you had a bun, it's always been sweet. Some amazing concoction of flavors that are sugary and fruity and chocolatey. This, though, is savory. You can still get that light, fluffy with a little bit of crispy. Just the edges are burnt, seared, shall we say? So there's a crispy crunch to the edges, but inside it's soft. And inside of that soft bite, you can taste the warm, salty taste of bacon. There's something else that complements that bacon so well. You can taste that there's butter. Just a warm, buttery texture that moves into the curls of this pastry. Bacon, butter, what is that? Salt? Yes, but there's something else on top of that. There's spice to it, and just the most moist, dark chicken you've ever had. Dark chicken with that nice, meaty punch that chicken has, with that sweet, salty kick of bacon and that buttery glaze, all wrapped in this mini pie that is now a pastry made by clearly the most brilliant of all bun makers, the bun loving tribe.
I'm going to call this one the Shionibus. The The Shiona bun.
Oh my
the
god.
black. That is freaking brilliant. Yes.
She has the
Michael?
endorsement that can make it happen.
Michael, as our resident chef, can you make buns based on everyone's characters?
I'll say this: I'm not really a baker, but I could give it the old college try.
Having seen you make everything from like a 5-star chef cordon bleu, like assortment of things, to just homemade fried chicken and pizza. I have absolute faith in you, Michael, that if you cannot make this dessert, you can at least make a dish that is worthy of everyone's personality.
If we get enough interest, maybe I'll drum up a Edge of Legends recipe book.
It's true. That's very true. I would love to see a cookbook made for Edge of Legends. We'll see what happens. Maybe one day. Who knows?
Yeah.
That being said, so buns are had, dancing is had. If you want to dance with the orcs, she, he, and they, every orc in Azimuth's Christendom is dancing with you. I guess I should say Gorm's Christendom is dancing with you. The two knights in Atari have a great time. There's partying, there's drinking, there's laughing, there's food, there's fire. Some things are burning, some things are not in the bad way. And the night comes to an end. There was a few fights, but what you could tell it wasn't a violent, angry affair. It was more like a, ooh, who's gonna win? I'm putting money on that guy. I'm putting money on that female orc. And with the party wrapping down, the fire's been put out, and when the morning arises, the kind of sweet, charred burn of a perfectly put out campfire awakens you with the light of the sun and the refreshing chirps of birds, the music of nature. It's almost like Mother Nadir herself is in this camp and she is waking you up with the alarm of her forest. And as your eyes come into view, the two knights in Atari are gone with a note. All of the orc of the Bunloving tribe are gone, no note, and you are now left in the Adolfon continent with some mysterious place called Daltonshire, just a few inches, feet, miles south, and the entire continent at your fingertips.
Can you imagine if we hadn't known about Daltonshire and it just popped up in game and we're like, oh, I wonder what that town is. We should warn them.
Actually,
I mean, we don't
I
though.
wait. Earlier, I did make a roll.
Yes.
Oh, good.
So what Rufa got was he got bad vibes. Bad vibes.
Yeah.
Did you do a
Rufa
vibe
got-
check?
He
He
did.
got a vibe
he
check
did.
on that. Bad
He did.
vibes.
He rolled for vibes. The vibe said bad. I can see it now. There's Rufa going, I'm going to vibe check. Check his vibe, bro. Whoa, bad vibes. Like, that was Rufa.
Rufa's like, we stay away from that. All of that. That entire area, corner off, no.
So you have in the morning, Morel is doing his normal morning routine. The minute the sun comes up, he wakes up, he prays to the east. He does his beard routine, puts some oil in there, gets it nice and smelling great. And after that, he puts on his armor, carries a shield, reads his little book on Afra. The question is, what do you do next?
What does the note say?
The note from the two good lord, Adolfon Senatari say, we are moving back at first light. We are meeting the Cultus Bellum. We are readying the army. We will be defended. Adolfon shall not fall.
Great. So Adolfon's taken care of. We don't have to worry about Adolfon anymore. Cool. All right. Well, that...
Now the rest of the world.
Just because they have an army doesn't mean they're going to do good.
Keep in
There's
mind,
always a loser in every war.
keep in mind what you do have left to worry about. And that this can be a conversation, but you will be reminded. If you have one orc who is at least a category huge or bigger, who is worth over 1,000 orcs somewhere in the middle of a field, just not moving. You have Xanakin, who's trying to take the war away from Korokos and move on to Adelphon for his own designs. Zaka, somewhere, is doing something. The Red Rock, they're flying around, and Korokos is on his way.
Oh, by the way, like in the morning when everybody gathers, Rufa's gonna relay all the information he got from the notes
Ooh,
to
super fair.
everybody. So everybody, we all know this now.
Great, thank you. Hmm.
So, our honestly, orcs standing in the middle of field. Kind of hard to tell where that field's going to be.
Yeah, real ambiguous field.
Really ambiguous. So, leaving that behind. Korokos is making his way here. We'll meet him when we meet him. It's going to happen. Zaka, we have no idea what's happening. Red Rock, I can't fly. And then the last guy who was screwing with Korokos, right? Trying to take the war. What was his name? Xanakin. We need to ready for Korokos because leaving Xanakin to screw over Korokos is the best option for us.
True.
What if-
True.
Don't stop him.
Yeah.
Let him screw him over, especially if he gets all the way here and we can fight him off, and then he comes and screws him over from
Yeah.
like some other direction he didn't see coming.
And if possible, while we're doing all this, if we could somehow disrupt their supply lines.
Right.
'Cause an army marches on its stomach and supplies. If they don't have access to that, they're screwed.
The best we got on that is coastal stuff, right?
Mhm.
Because a
Yeah.
lot of them are coming in and using the boats to drop off things to different people.
Yeah. If we
Everyone-
could somehow do something
ev-
naval,
Everyone, give me a lore check.
Super
lore
fair.
what?
Just
I-
lore.
If you have orc lore, great. If you don't, lore is fine.
Warfare?
Lower.
I will allow warfare lore.
Oh, you misheard him.
18.
Yeah, I rolled
18 from Sam, excellent.
17.
17 from Shionibus, excellent.
I just rolled another nat 20.
Hey,
I-
yo.
I had a feeling from the way you
But
celebrated.
yeah, it's ridiculous. This is my third one for tonight. I have
All right.
2 lores, Hooch and Forest. And I don't know which one's going to be better. You know what? Just to stick with this, to try to figure out anything war related to the possibilities of moving in and out of or around a forest in the general region, I will use
Okay.
Forest.
Forest lore I will accept. Rufo, what was your war lore?
I mean, it's not impressive as a nat 20, but 26.
Nice.
I mean, that's pretty damn
That's
good.
damn good.
Good.
Alona, what was yours?
I got like a 15.
It's all good. Okay, so 15. Shionibus, what was yours again?
Well, it was a 17, but I just added my intelligence because I wasn't sure if heraldry would work. I didn't
Yeah.
think so. So 17.
Okay. Sam, what was yours again?
23.
Okay.
Wait, is that right? That's just what's on my calculator.
D20 plus each
Oh, wait,
modifier.
no. I rolled a 12 plus. I don't remember anymore.
It's
I'm
okay.
so
Don't worry
sorry.
about it. It's fine. So between Woodward, Rufa, and Shionibus. So you're saying we're gonna kill their supply lines. Warlord. Supply lines only exist when you have supply hubs and supply depots. You've been all over most of the majority of this continent in a month that you've been out. You've never seen a single orc supply depot, let alone an orc tribe hub. The only orc camp you've been to so far has been the nomads who left you at first sunlight. You're starting to think that there is absolutely no way to actually cut off supplies. And speaking of naval, the Blue Rock tribe was on temporary payout by Korokos with hopes that Gebzebel will secure a diplomatic alliance with Madazong. Upon the absolute righteous and swift destruction of Gebzebel, Madazong was on her way. You guys have a key to a boat in Adelphon's harbor, and there is no longer any alliance between the Blue Rock tribe, her armada, and the Green War. Supplies are no longer an issue. However, They're not an issue because Shionibus and Woodward would know. The Blackspear tribe is local to Adelphon. They have been surviving off of massive natural resources and superior ambush tactics, as well as a superior hunting culture. You can't stop them from hunting. And since you can't stop them from hunting, you can't choke their resources. So, that being said, if there's one Blackspear tribe soldier alive, he is surviving on sheer thousands of years of training and culture. And that being said, if Xanakin has a contingency of orcs, any contingency of orcs, they are 1000% self sufficient. They can hunt their own food, they can make their own homes, and they will fight as one. So stopping Xanakin with the idea of taking away their resources and starving them and stopping them from getting a foothold, you're starting to learn, the three of you, if you want to stop Xanakin from basically invading anything Xanakin's going to invade, you're going to have to meet him as a superior force.
So it goes back to Korokos then. If Xanakin has the possibility, yes, he will be attacking places. Yes, we do need to mitigate that damage. But if we can lead Korokos to land, I don't know if he's taking ships, but he's on his way from one direction. If we can try to narrow down his options of where to land near Xanakin, so Xanakin has his chance to strike, we need to try to do it. If infighting is the best possible outcome for us, infighting is whoever loses is still better than them against us. So trying to make that happen, I think, is a top priority.
I agree. I agree. Is because I know oh god. I'm kind of blanking now on when we were in, I believe, Bryax, leaving a note, kind of basically just sow dissension. Maybe I don't think it was successful there, but would it be possible if we could do it on a larger scale? Like word of mouth or like rumors.
Here's the problem. Uh, as you say this, you start to go through your mind palace. You're basically analyzing the war as a warrior of sorts of yourself. That requires communication. The only communication you've had directly with Korikos has been through the melting abominations that you have destroyed. You have no idea how Korikos is communicating with these other generals and officers aside from letters.
We need to
And
figure
you
that
have
out.
no idea how to get to Korikos through a letter.
We gotta figure that out. What is that
Oh.
about? How do we figure that out, everyone?
What if we got into contact with Matazong, the actual Matazong, and was like, hey, we didn't murder you. You want to join instead? We have X amount of money, because clearly she's influenced by money, like most people. So we could technically have our own armada on our side.
I'm rolling with that. I think our best option at that point is actually getting Halfson to go talk to her.
Ooh.
He's got a ship, and he knows her. They know each other. They may be enemies, but again, she's only enemies with who doesn't pay her, and he knows where that island is.
Ian,
Problem.
give me a quick intelligence roll. D20 plus intelligence modifier. Low DC, just got to beat a 12.
Real quick to oh, I'll wait for Ian to finish his roll.
By the
Sure,
way,
sure, sure.
it's Larry and Voss. Half
Yeah,
physics.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
I got a 13 on the die face with a +0.
that's awesome because the DC was a 12.
Yeah, you said 12. I was like, oh god.
You know that she is actually on her way to Larry and Voss's raider camp. She is actually a friend of his. He definitely has a bad history with Blue Rock tribe, but they're drinking buddies.
Yeah.
Matazong and Larry and Voss.
So the easiest way to get information, it's probably easier to talk to Voss or get a hold of Voss than it is Matazong at this point. I know raiding camp and so on and so forth, but don't we still have any of those any of his troops hanging around? I don't know if
Real
they left.
quick, because I want to piggyback back off the idea. Would it be possible using both Chonobus and Ichi's knowledge on the language of orcs to, with Rufa's deception, to forge fake letters to create, like, basically create our own what's the word I'm looking for?
Propaganda campaign.
Propaganda,
Discord, basically.
or like false information to
Yeah.
kind of help to basically have Ian's idea to basically, like, yeah, you should go to this area, kind of narrow out this area you can't because there's too many people here. This area you can't because you're going to be fighting kind of a difficult war, bad terrain. This is the best area, using kind of deception and forgery.
1,000%. However, comma. Do you know how to? Let me ask you this: does Rufa know who to send the letter to, and how?
Have the letters, get the letter to Matazon. So when she, as a double agent, goes to them, basically, she's helping us that way.
Two things, because one is a bit of a logical fallacy, but two, you touched on something interesting. One, you know that the Blue Rock tribe has, at this point, officially not joined up with the Green Army. But two, you said double agent. Think about that for a second.
What about, okay, there were sort of the survivors of Mango Mall's ship is with us, right?
Yes, I recommend you look closer.
Yes, Sidney.
So
I recommend you look within a certain series of people.
The Bun Lovin' tribe?
More personal to Rufus' personal efforts.
Oh, okay. With Jeremy.
Someone closer within that network.
Ooh, Lofon?
No? You want to make an intelligence check, and I'll tell you. Give me a d20 plus intelligence. DC is a 12.
18.
You remember, as part of your great network, the darkness works for Rufa as
Oh,
well as Korokos.
Yeah. Okay, we can do that. Would it be possible to do that with the darkness?
Yes. If you wish to summon them.
Okay. Well, let's first figure out what kind of information that we're going to be relaying to the enemy first, before we call the darkness, so we don't keep the darkness waiting.
that sentence.
I don't know about the darkness, but I don't like waiting. Like, you could have done everything beforehand.
Oh my god, Ian. Hello, darkness, my old friend.
Yeah, so I had to throw it in the chat. There's just I was
I'm
trying
gonna-
not to disrupt this.
I'm gonna here's like chat. If you're listening, when campaign 4 rolls around, I want you to remember this: the sound of silence. Continue.
Okay. I don't know how to put these letters together. They're fun. But as much as we've done all of this out of character, I think trying to put these letters together in character would not only be more fun for everyone, I think, and also let hilarity ensue as we try to also write in Orc and Goblin in character, no matter how well versed we are in it.
Because I was thinking what we could do is from common, then have Ichi and Chonobus translate, and then Rufa use deception to forge.
Right, but we're gonna need to not translate. We're gonna need to transliterate,
Oh, true, true.
and that's gonna be the fun part, especially with Goblin.
So meet us here to big double tall speak rock to yep, yeah,
Yep.
that's going to be
That's
yeah.
transliteration.
Yep.
Do we know where would be a ideal location for Xanakin to land? We should figure that out too.
We have no
Alphon
idea how he's
Prime.
getting here.
Adolphon Prime. Why
Alphon Prime.
Prime?
Because we already know that's where they're headed. So cut out the middleman. Be like, hey, we already know you're on your way. Why don't we just meet you there? And then hopefully by then the army will already kind of be in motion and already have several groups in the works.
If they are, do we know which direction he's headed in towards Adolphon?
Yeah, and also don't we want them to clash with Korikos forces?
Yes, so we would need to get Korikos there. We would need to clear out whatever direction they come from, pretty much every small entity or town in the way, because they'll
Steamroll.
raise everything to the ground until they get there. We would look like the bad guys for a long bit. This is not a great PR campaign, but we could totally do it.
It's a thought. I'm not saying we're doing this. It's a thought, because armies are already there somewhat.
Is there a way to get them like a bad map to like this is where Alphon Prime is? Just kidding. This is a empty prairie. I don't know.
Well, first things first.
Cobbledale?
So you're trying to summon the darkness, and you're trying to give them a message about what to give to Korokos, right?
Yeah.
right.
First, we're going to figure out what information we can give to the darkness before summoning the darkness, though.
Got it. Okay, cool.
Yeah. So, guys, I guess it's time to play some reverse telephone.
So are we sure? Are we positive? Are we sure that we want to direct Korikos to go to Adolphon Prime as quickly as possible?
Well, we should figure out how to get Korikos and Xanakin to clash first, have them clash, and then after that clash, have the Adolphon army just pick up the pieces there.
Here's a big. I think he's coming from the south.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Because, nope, he's already fighting in Asmacon.
Yeah.
There's already an army there, and we know it's not Xanakin's.
well,
So it would have to be at least Korikos.
Well, no, here's the problem. Here's the actual problem is that he's also with the Shin. He's everywhere. So we don't actually know where he's going to come from.
Right, but coming from the water would take so long that our best bet of him being in Asmacon by land is going to be a hell of a lot faster than anything by sea. Coming up from Asmacon.
But
PJ, from what we could gather so far,
Mm-hmm.
do we know, is Korikos more of a traditional general, like using tried and true methods of warfare, or is he more of kind of a maverick?
At this point in time, the only one who has any, and I think it's canonical too, any history with Korokos has been Shionibus, and she's heard a story, which was there was the Black Lion in silhouette of fire, and he took no prisoners when he destroyed a small village. That is the only idea that you have of Korokos as a person. You have no idea how he's operating this military that seems to be global.
We need intel.
So I had a thought. when he was like melting away the face, and then like Koroko spoke to us from the great beyond. That what if I'll let the audience in on this because we talked about it after game. Korokos is just using the orcs as kind of a way to be everywhere at once. And that is how he's kind of going in and out, where I don't think we've really had an idea of whether he's using any form of magic or not. He's just using an army to push along. So clearly he has the ability to manipulate people into his biddings. But how does he have that vast of ability?
So I think Ichi's right. We need more intel. So instead of figuring this out, but we can't figure this out without more information. So we should just summon the darkness anyway and ask them for more information, or ask the surrounding people that we have with us, you know, the people on the ship that we have as resources for more information, because I don't think we can make a plan right now.
At least where to go. We could ask them where
I
to
mean-
go for more information too if they don't know. Like
I
maybe there's a original source of where Koroko's a library, a Koroko's library.
I kind of want to say we could also get information from Lofun, because he was working for them when we did find him all those in the first single digit games.
That's true, but Lofen can't travel and he's not here right now.
Ichi's gonna look around.
Yes.
Does she see Jeremy?
Yeah, you see Jeremy as well as Dr. Ichius see Boomglass, and you see Crispy Smithers. You see the corpse of Captain Montague, who is slowly starting to have twitches in his toes, as well as just an army of mutated goblins.
Excuse me, what?
An army of mutated goblins?
No. The corpse.
Round
right.
5.
The corpse of Montague, you seeing their toe is having this sort of spasm and twitch, but nothing else seems to be at all responsive, but that one toe is just spasming. And you see Crispy Smithers just kind of like bone spurs sharpening and just look at the corpse of Montague like, that's right, get up, please. I love it.
Ichi will go up and be like, I don't want to know what that's about. I'm hoping we're gonna be out of here before that is a thing. Anyway, hey, Jeremy, good to see you again. You're looking good. So like, you know,
Oh, it's the whole thing. It's the only thing I own. You know, the simple little corpulescent bottle of games. That was nothing.
you're good. You're good. So you've been on this ship. That ship. What was a ship? This island. You know, it's great here on the shore. So what do you know about Korokos?
Oh, I know. I've seen nothing about him. Damn, what was that? Is that where it's not at Cinematari? I heard about them. Oh, they're really important people. I like them. They're
What
nice.
about like? Do you know who would know about Korokos, or like where we would go to like know
Yeah.
about him?
Yeah. Michael Moore would know. Yeah, he knows a lot of things. Also, I heard about a beady orc who was very smart with words. He would know. I heard about an orc with a big stabby weapon, but I heard he's not a good orc, or he is a good orc, or he's too good of an orc. I don't know.
What was
But he's
what was that
somewhere.
one's name? Did we
Oh,
kill him?
I think his name was Z Annie. Z Annie. Yeah,
Did we-
I'm
did
I'm
we-
almost positive. Yeah.
Did we kill that one, guys?
He's not on our side. He doesn't like us.
Doesn't
no
mean
one-
we can't get information from him.
That's
Not
it.
many people like us.
Yeah, that's
What was the first name?
Oh, Z something. I want to say it was Z Annie.
Xanakin.
Oh,
that's right.
Zannikin.
Oh, that's
Huh.
right.
No,
Zannikin.
the one before that.
No, Manglema was before
Yeah.
that.
Oh, there was
Mm.
one name between Megalma and Zannikin, wasn't it?
It was Megalma, Gebzebel.
Oh,
Uh,
Gemzebel.
I'm gonna guess
Yeah.
it was probably Leontari.
That's right. Gooby Bubble. Good old Gooby Bubble. Yeah.
Oh. Okay. All right. All right. All right. All right. All right. Jeremy, you're so helpful. Like, you're great. I'm really glad you survived all of that. Out of everyone here, the survivors, like, that's what we like to call them. Who would like know things about this whole war? Because, like, you're cool and I can tell you're just vibing, right?
Uh,
Like, that's what you're doing.
All right, so I heard from voices that so there is a few orcs, yeah, they know. There's a few goblin. Well, there's a goblin and a hobgoblin, but she's super shivy knife darky, right? Just like in the darkness. And they know. And other than them, it's just no one
All
that I
right.
heard.
Thanks, Jeremy. You're great. What you gonna do next? You're not stuck on a ship anymore. What's your next move, Jeremy? I'm interested.
Oh, I absolutely forgot. I got a job. I
You
got
did?
a job. That's right, yeah. But I'm not supposed to say anything.
You can tell me, Jeremy. We're
No,
friends.
no, I can't. I have a job, but I'm not supposed to speak about it. So,
But like, we're friends though, Jeremy. Like, right? You remember back in like the ship and like
no,
we
no,
worked
no,
together?
no. Ruther was very clear. I wasn't supposed to say anything about it.
Oh. Hmm. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, you should. All right, you do you. Okay, bye. Bye. Bye.
Finger crossbows. Shoo 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 shoo.
Shoo.
Did Ikius see Boomglass survive?
Yes. Dr. Ikius C. Boomglass is alive and is uh kind of trying to assert leadership amongst the goblins and hobgoblins of the boat.
Cool. Rufa, with your not secret, not so secret dark network. Um, quick question. So it seems like we are being coaxed towards calling the darkness for more information. But would you also like to recruit another double agent, Dr. Ikius C. Boomglass, in your
I wouldn't say no to that because more the merrier. It helps.
I was gonna say he's the new Mangoma, except hopefully without the horrible mutations. Um, but it sounds like
Maybe we could kind of turn that ambition and genius towards something better.
yeah, yeah, I think so. But I personally, it sounds like we should call the darkness to figure out what's going on, so we're not taking a shot in the dark. Okay.
Like, first of
I
all,
mean,
I
I
think
liked it.
we will have to go at least somewhere more civilized, not like in the middle of the woods.
For the darkness?
I don't think Rufa has a magic like pan flute that he can just blow into and darkness pops up.
You don't have
You
enough.
tried though.
Rufa, give me a perception check.
The darkness isn't.
You're gonna give me a magic pan flute, huh?
Darkness is in the trees, like.
Exactly.
18.
Okay. As everyone's talking about this, you can feel almost within the shadow that you cast upon in this like 9, 10 a.m. sunlight, you can feel this almost like presence hidden in the ground behind you. And you can hear this voice going, "Are you asking the darkness for a question now?"
Has the darkness been there the entire time?
The darkness exists in every shadow. We work, yes, we work. Darkness works for the light and the dark, but we live in the dark.
Then the
If you
darkness knows what we are requesting of it now.
you must only wish the darkness to be here, and the darkness shall be here. For every light, there's a shadow. In every shadow, there exists the darkness.
Wait a moment. Just so it can at least there's trying to keep at least a vibe of secrecy. We're going to move off from the main group with our party at the very least, away from the giant group of orcs, if possible, with the party.
Sure,
Right.
sure. So
Yeah.
PCs, PCs, you in the darkness. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you go somewhere, just a shy out of ear and eye shot. However, there's no one with you. Suddenly, as you feel like you're settled and you're away with the darkness, you see your own shadow start to stretch longer and longer in front of you. It's about 9, 10 a.m., but the shadow that you're casting, Rufa, looks like it's about a 12 in the afternoon, 1 p.m. shadow. Suddenly, coming out of your own shadow, just flipping out of the darkness, standing in front of you, arms crossed, eyes blood red, teeth like daggers, is Hush Snagglefoot. And as she comes out of the ground, she looks at you and she goes, "Hi,
Hello,
darkness is
darkness.
here. Hello, Rufa."
Hello, darkness. And he kind of motions towards the group. These are Lufa's friends, and we have some questions. And he just briefly kind of motions towards the group to ask their questions of the darkness.
So, standing in front of all of you is what appears to be a hobgoblin made entirely out of shadow. Two beady red eyes just break through the veil of darkness like two red torches in the night. You can see their nubby, sharpened teeth protruding from their gums like daggers in alleys. They're clad in black leather armor. They have long arms and long claws, and you can see a bunch of daggers, and you can see wispy hairs going back. And the darkness looks at all of you, arms folded over here towards the side of their heads, going, "Hi. How can the darkness help you today?"
How can this darkness help us, Rufa? Could you always do this?
You always do this.
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest. When something says it's always in the shadows, I'm not too keen on really like, opening a conversation with it. But if we're here, what do you know about Korikos?
She looks at you directly in the eye. The darkness works for Korokos. We are their network.
Uh, okay. Are you saying we like Rufus as Rufa? Or are you saying we as in multiple darknesses?
Do you know what lies beyond the light? Do you know what stands in between you and the creeping death?
Um, about 6 feet. That's why I'm over here. So if you could stop right there, that'd be great.
No.
Thanks.
No. There's so much more than 6 feet. There's a world that you cannot possibly imagine. And I work for Korokos. And I work for Rufa.
Could you maybe then, I'm a simple dwarf. I don't understand a lot of this, metaphysical stuff, but could you explain how Korkos can keep, like, talking to us out of his abomination? Is that you?
Mm, mm, no, no. I'm the spy master. The darkness is the spy master for General Kodakos. I see things in the night. I report things to the general. He tells me where to go, and I go there.
Okay. Um, Rufa. So your friend the darkness here, it serves is like a double agent, mystical double agent, which I didn't know that about you. That's cool, Rufa. You're mysterious. Anyway, how is this darkness gonna help us? Please explain to me.
Well, the darkness is consider the darkness a free agent. The
Okay.
darkness is in the same time working for Rufa and also Korokos. So, if we have any questions we need to ask the darkness, we should probably ask them now. But if they step too much within the lines of its current loyalties to Korokos, we might not get a straight answer. But as they say, we must separate the truth from the fiction.
Mm. Let the darkness say this. I report directly to the general. The darkness reports to the general. The general sees the darkness. If you give the darkness information, I will take of you this knowledge and give it to Korokos in exchange for knowledge on Korokos. If I lie, Korokos will know, and you will get one. Please ask the darkness of anything, but give the darkness a truth, or else you will never have the darkness again.
Okay. That could work. What would we? Hold on a second. She'll turn to everyone else. What would we ask? What's the question we're going to ask if we're going to be giving up information to this being of darkness?
I don't know, but I got a truth.
That's good. That's good. Let's not waste that truth. We got to have a real good question, right? What do we most need to know?
Perhaps where is Korokos currently? This was to the group, not to the darkness.
Yeah.
I want to specify that.
Well, it's either or how. I think the most important question is how is he able? How does he travel? How is he able to travel? How does he travel? Because if we can figure out how he travels, we can figure out how we're going to get him to the place we need to get him to.
That's true.
Because it does, because it does. If Korokos can travel from one camp and bounce around to the other, we have no. We have no.
We
way
also have no proof that he's actually doing that.
Right. Exactly.
So where he is and how he travels are the same question.
I thought we had a letter that said that he is everywhere at once.
Yeah, but we've also seen that he's not possibly traveling. He spoke to us through the face of another orc.
True.
What if we ask, how is he everywhere at once? Because that would give us
That's
something.
a different question. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
How? Because we know he is doing weird things, and I cannot explain it.
I think that's the perfect question to ask. How is he everywhere at once? It's the same question that that Geb Zebel literally wrote on his map.
What's your truth?
Xanakin.
Yes. Yes.
Xanakin's planning to take the war.
Hmm.
And he's gearing up against your boss, Korikos.
Yes, Korokos already knows this.
Korikos doesn't know how many people Xanakin already has or who he's lost.
Korokos is guessing. Korokos needs to know a truth about you.
Oh, just about us?
Where you are,
Um,
where you're going, what you're doing.
I'm
Well, shoot,
single.
that's a lot less important. That's easy.
I'm single. The
So,
darkness. Hush,
he's
Hush Snagglefoot begins to extrapolate, and she says, "My job has been to follow you since Cobbledale. I have agents in every darkness, in every shadow, in every starry sky. The darkness has stars watching. The only thing we need to know is where you are going next, what you are doing. You are going to give yourself up to Korokos. And in return, I give Korokos up to you. Because if I don't, and if you don't, you will know that I am a liar. And you will kill the darkness.
Hey,
And then you
Groot.
will have no information on Korokos.
So you knew I was single then. Okay.
You are, you, the darkness looks at you, she grabs your hand, and she goes, "You are not single. You are just finding yourself in better options."
Thanks.
Uh,
Go ahead.
Perhaps it
do
is
we know where
time-
Xanakin is right now? He's waiting on the outside of Adalphon Prime, isn't he? To make his attack. He already moved because Xanakin's troops were the ones who already moved through Bryax. And then we sent them to
Technically speaking, it was Zaka's troops that were holding Bryax
Ah.
and moving through it.
him.
As the darkness looks at you all, and she says, "Hush, Snagglefoot," about this realm in between you and the creeping undeath. And as she speaks of needing information from you so that she can give it to Korokos, so she can keep feeding you information about Korokos back. That's where we're going to end tonight's episode of Edge of Legend. It is 11 o'clock, and it is snuck upon us like a thief in the night. So without further ado, next week when we come back, we are going to pick right off with the Darkness, aka Hush Snagglefoot, as the heroes of Edge of Legend try to figure out where the next move is, what they can take, and learn about Korokos. How is he everywhere at once? How is he speaking through the new units? All these information and more, we might be able to find out next episode. And until then, we are going to say our goodbyes. Starting, of course, with Mr. Michael Powell. Tell us who you are and where we can find you on that sweet, sweet internet.
Well, I'm Michael Powell, and you can find me all over the internet on my social medias at Mr. Kapow, that's MRKAPAO, or my Facebook page, facebook.com/Michael Powell Does Stuff, because I do a lot of stuff, such as my YouTube channel, which is Fantastic Tales of Adventure, or on, I believe, Thursdays at 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time on the Toyzilla Network channel for Toyzilla Live. And I also have a little new Facebook exclusive series now called A Mighty Need, where I tell you in about 10 minutes or less all the cool toys that are coming out this week.
Awesome possum, Sidney Rubino. Please tell us who you are and where we can find you on that sweet, sweet internet.
Hello, my name is Sidney Rubino. You can find me all over the internet at Sidney Rubino. It's just my name. Look me up. I also have a YouTube channel where every Tuesday I post a video of me reading folklore, fairy tales, myths, and then I sort of talk about the morals that you can gain from those stories or what they're supposed to teach us. If you're interested in that, check me out on YouTube. Follow me everywhere. I'm always here on Wednesdays, and I love you all.
Absolutely. And please, Kylie, please tell us who you are and where we can find you on that sweet, sweet internet.
Hello, I'm Kylie, or I go by Kai. It really doesn't matter at this point. You can find me at Kai's Wonderful Life pretty much everywhere on Instagram, TikTok, Twitter. as well as Discord. I'm trying to hop more into our own Discord chat when I can. But yeah, I'm also part of a D&D campaign called City of Promise, which is a homebrew, all-female campaign here on Twitch, Monday nights at 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time on Dragons and Dreamers. I play a half-orc fighter, quarter-orc fighter, and she has got spunk to spare. So come check us out.
I love it. I've definitely tuned in Monday nights to see it. It's a lot of fun. Please go ahead and tune in and support it. Of course, you get the lovely Kylie and a few other lovely, amazing, talented, and great role player ladies there too. Sam, please tell us who you are and where we can find you on that sweet, sweet internet.
Hello, I'm Sam, and you can find me at Hey Sam Sterling in all the places. TikTok's kind of the thing I do now, I guess. It's fun. I make a lot of inside jokes for whatever stream is on most recently. And then speaking of that, me and PJ are going to be on a new show Saturday at 1 p.m. Pacific Standard Time on the Gilding Light channel. And we are going to be playing tabloid bards who basically, the whole party is bards, and it's all about scandal and tomfoolery, and the town's called Scandalabra. Is that what it is, PJ?
I want to say it's the newsletter we write for, the paper we write for is called Scandalabra, or the Duchess is called Scandalabra.
I think it's the town is called the Duchy of Scandalabra, which is just Ryan Omega, guys. Fantastic. But check us out then. It's going to be so much fun. We're both like super stoked for it. So that's it for me. Thank you.
All right, last but not least, Ian, please tell us who you are and where we can find you on that sweet, sweet internet.
Hey guys, I play Bearded Scald on the internet everywhere across Instagram, Twitter, Discord. If you want to come check out our Discord, it's ever growing. We added 2 new channels this week to add in more discussion amongst everyone. Please hop in. And if you want to see anything else I do, basically everything outside of Edge of Legend, my life is taken up by a little shop called Witch and Heathen that I run with my fiance. If you want to come check us out, we still have candles up in the shop right now at witchandheathen.com. And stay tuned. We're going to be making some announcements on a few changes, hopefully to put more out into the world. So I'm pretty excited about that. Thanks for watching.
Absolutely. Recommend their candles. They're amazing. In fact, my partner is hanging out with Princess Psycho Simon with a lavender candle that they made for us, and it's truly beautiful and it smells tremendous. That being said, and again, much love to you and your witch. My name is PJ Megaw. You can find me all over the internet at pj.megaw when I'm not here with these amazing legends who I love. You can find me on Tuesdays with Mr. Michael Powell at the table, 3:30 to 5:30 p.m. We took a hiatus last week. This week, coming up, we're coming back strong with what? I have no idea, but guarantee you it's going to be worthy of pulling up a chair, taking out your TTRPG books, and joining us at the table. More further news, like Sam mentioned, this Saturday, 1 p.m. on twitch.tv/gildinglight. We are going to be doing the Poison Tulips with Ryan Omega, Sam Sterling, myself, a friend of ours, Izzy Spring, and you may have seen him on Life Action Roleplay, Tobias McCurry, as we play a group of bards set in a world of revolution and intrigue and good old-fashioned sass. So tune in Saturday at 1 p.m. to see us. I play a tiefling with horns and, shall we say, a lot of personality. So come in and see what it's all about. Have fun and join us. Very excited to be here on this channel, and of course here on Nat 20 Productions. And until then, we will see you same net time, same net channel, with more surprises down the road. My God, so much we can't even announce yet, but we'll announce eventually. So we have the raid in the chat. We're gonna be raiding Juntech _. So thank you, everyone. We'd love to have you here. We'd love that you came here. Happy Beer Day. It's still Beer Day. Sleep like angels, you beautiful princes of whatever rating.
Also, thanks for being there for us, even if we were about to maybe
right.
TPK.
Yes.
But we didn't.
We didn't. We made it alive.
Thank you
Just for you guys.
being there with the whole thing, the TPK and everything that happens. All right, here we go. We're going to be rating in 3, 2, 1. Love you all. See you next week. Bye.